Hey everyone, welcome to part 2 of this Bayonetta collab. I wasn't sure what time I was going to start the stream, so I scheduled it later just in case, but I usually try and keep it around the same time. I just don't know what my schedule's like. Anyways, I think part 2 is going to be maybe more interesting than part 1. Opinions, really, but in my opinion, I think the part 2 unit looks pretty good. At least, I haven't seen much of the unit because I didn't want to spoil the unit too much because I want to test the unit out in the stream. We're going to be doing that. I don't know if I'm going to build her properly in the stream because that takes a long time, but maybe we'll do that. But let's get right into looking at the units in the arc first. So there is part 1 and part 2 active right now, so you can choose which band you want to pull on. I would probably recommend to pull on part 2, at least that's what I'm thinking so far, because she just looked pretty good. But I'm saying that I haven't even tested her yet. And Zex is still here too, so we've got quite a lot of banners on at the moment. I farmed the event today. Now I've got 15 tickets, so we can use those in a bit. Let's have a look at the units and the arc. I think this unit should be pretty good. I don't know yet. I mean, I definitely want to test her out. I think it's going to be fun. So, she's got some pretty good defense for a physical DPS unit. That's nice to see. Maybe she'll be kind of like a hybrid tank slash DPS units, but I don't think it will be on the same end of like Shift Roland or something like that. It's probably not going to be as good as that. Definitely not Vayne. He's got that massive defense buff and guard skills and stuff. I don't think she's going to be like that, but I think she does have some damage mitigation in her kit, so that's going to be fun. Nil to stun, but weak to curse is kind of a problem. Weak to curse is kind of a big problem because you need to use skills. If you can't use skills, then what are you going to do? Maybe, I'm going to assume one of her paid equipments at least makes it not weak anymore. That would make sense. Abilities, I think his abilities look pretty good, at least from the video. I don't know what they're thinking, but her skill 3 is just funny. You'll see it later if you haven't seen it yet. I haven't tried her in game yet, so I haven't really looked too much at the skills, but this skill 3 just looks funny because it's too fast. Now, I don't know how fast you can spam these skills together. If it's similar to Stahn from the collab we had recently, then it could be crazy good and definitely a top tier DPS, but I just don't know yet. No spoilers, you tried it out. I'm gonna try it later. Skill 1 seems pretty good too. Skill 2 is a close the gap skill. Pushes enemies. Could be good, but I don't think it's going to be a main DPS. I think it's going to be a skill 3. Potentially skill 1 could be good too. But I think skill 3, if you focus on like purple orb skill stocks and stuff, spamming skill 3 could be pretty crazy if you can increase the damage cap and stuff like that. I think it could be pretty good. Now, one thing that is also pretty good is her special. Powerful Thunder combo attack to all enemies and give a defense minus 35% debuff. Any type of special that inflicts something or buffs the units in the team is always more valuable than just a normal special that does damage. We rarely see specials that have a bonus on top of just doing damage, so I do like seeing this because you could use like Great War of Ruin if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you wanted to, you could use Great War of Ruin, and then everyone gets defense minus 35% debuff, which is pretty high, and I can see that being useful by itself. So that already makes me kind of excited about this unit. If you don't look at skills, which they make it more exciting too, but defense buff, debuff, I think that's going to be good. If only she had some special charge skills or something to charge special faster, but I wouldn't worry about that really, because if you're going to use a special, you're probably going to be using Great War of Ruin or something else. Traits, kind of similar to Bayonetta in a way, but for Thunder, and it is a different unit obviously, but they do both have the Witch Time buff, but I think Jeanne is more focused on magic damage instead. When equipped with only one weapon, Thunder damage 50% damage cap 10,000. Pretty good. It doesn't say doesn't lock you to a specific weapon, but she does have sword boost, so ideally you'd want a sword. And we have a lot of swords, so it's no big deal. But that does give you the option of putting on Machine or Trisha or something if you want, but I haven't fully read the other skills. It's probably something like double-hander or something that's going to require a sword. So, yeah, you probably need a sword anyway. Damage cap when hitting attribute weakness with thunder, 15,000. Like seeing that, but that does mean you want to focus on debuffing the enemy with attribute resistances, which isn't a big deal because I did build my Saintly melee like that, which I personally enjoy that the most. Trying to reduce their resistances instead of just putting on Trisha is just more fun to me. Like, you could put on weakness on a unit and whatever circle it is, probably ice circle or earth circle, whatever, because the elements are weird. And then it's going to lower their resistance by at least 40 at that point from those two debuffs. I just like doing that even though it takes time to cast them. I would probably do that if you're not focused on killing things as fast as possible, then you could do that. So, battle start / when revived, give all enemies atrophy debuff, which is interesting because there's a unique debuff, which we like seeing. Unique buffs and debuffs, they're always great to see. Damage dealt by enemies with atrophy debuff, minus 30%. So, enemies are going to deal 30% less damage, which is very nice. And I can see this being good for arena, but obviously I don't think it's going to be arena unit focused. But yeah, I think it's going pretty well. Pretty well so far. We're just getting right into the stream, so got a lot of stuff to do today, hopefully. Hopefully we get as lucky as we did in part 1. That would be great. I think this is good by itself, minus 30% damage taken from all enemies. Where it says the debuff, everyone on the other team is going to do 30% less damage to all of your units on your team. The reason why I don't think she's going to be an arena unit is because she's Thunder, and that minus earth resistance kind of... I mean, it's not minus 30, you could probably fix that, now I'm thinking about it, but I don't think she'll be able to tank Vayne, definitely not, but I'm just thinking that the useful skills like this debuff, everyone dealing less damage, could be useful. When unit is at 50% HP or more, re-give the debuff. Okay, every 10 seconds, that's pretty good. So, I'm gonna guess from that the debuff doesn't last very long. Maybe like 5 or 10 seconds. And after 10 seconds, it's gonna re-give the buff as long as she has that much health, which is fine. Yeah, well, I think I said this in part 1 stream that I recommend most people to save for part 2 if you don't care about Bayonetta, but I wasn't expecting the unit to be this good. I mean, I'm saying that, I haven't tried it yet, I haven't seen much of it yet, but the skill 3 is just too funny, because it's too fast. I really want to test that out, just spam it. Melt things, kind of reminds me of Stahn a lot, but hopefully people get lucky. Nothing much to prevent that unless you save up enough for pity, which not everyone can do. So trait 1 is a pretty good trait. I do like this trait, there's a lot of good stuff with this. Just got to remember you need to hit attribute weakness if you want that plus 10,000 damage cap, which you should try to do if possible. So try and focus on reducing their element resistance or attribute resistance, or just use her against thunder weak enemies, up to you. Won't faint from enemy attacks. This is the same as Bayonetta, and I do like it. It's not the best thing in the world, but not being able to feint is actually quite useful if you think about it, because I've had some cases where I'm fighting a boss that has a lot of health, and they're using a lot of attacks, and I do get feinted sometimes, which is incredibly annoying. Even in some maze levels I think it happens, and it's just annoying because you can't do anything. Yeah, there's one stage in particular I'm thinking about in the maze which you have to use thunder DPS units, and I remember getting feinted a lot in that level, so I think it should be great for that stage alone. I don't know which one it is, but I know what it is that I'm thinking about. You probably won't. but still good. When magically attacked instead of physical attacks, like what Bayonetta has, chance to give the unit wish time buff. It's good. It is very nice. This could be good. Yeah, I think it'll be good. Time buff. Yeah, which time buff active, damage taken minus 30%, won't flinch from magic attacks. See, that's great. Think about this. Okay, I'm thinking, if people are using mages in arena right now, which they are, she won't flinch from magic attacks. That's pretty huge if I think about it. Because if she's on your defense and someone's using just mage units, and they use like Blizzard for instance, or then she's going to still be able to use skills when she gets hit by a magic attack, and she's going to take 30% less damage. So to me that sounds pretty good. If physical / magic attack damage taken plus 20% debuff to enemy that activated which time buff. Okay, we're starting to see a lot. Look at all of these numbers, right? We've got this debuff first, this minus 30% damage, right? And then you've got minus 30% damage taken here. And then you've got damage taken plus 20% debuff. It is pretty good. I do like debuffs and support units a lot more than just regular DPS units, so I'm quite happy with this. I can see this being useful. For sure. It is basically just a changed version of what Bayonetta has, but it's focused on magic instead, which is fine, because I still think it's good. And I don't think she's going to be an arena unit, but there is some potential there. It's just I don't think she's going to survive to be good. That's the thing. Is most units can probably kill her pretty fast, but I don't know. I would still test it anyway, but I don't think we can do it today because it's going to take a lot of building. But good traits. The skills, she does have 2 debuffs. Giga High Blazer and Lost Toma, which is very nice to have. It would have been nice to have like a defense debuff too, but that is in a special. Minus 35% debuff. Still nice. Flying Spirit 5, Resolve up 5, good numbers, good stats, Heroism up 1 for whatever reason. Guess they're trying to balance out the stats, kinda makes sense. Critical up 3, 8 Vitals, Proud Force, do like seeing these. Roller Armors, less chance of receiving crits, okay. Auto Brave and High Protection, you know, it's pretty good because we don't see this on many units or any at all. So I like this. It's great. She doesn't have any guard skills, but if you wanted to, you could try to put a bunch of guard skills if you want, but that would be very expensive. Auto Haste is great to have too. So yeah, she doesn't have auto critical, which would have been nice as well. But auto high protection, I'm happy with that. Patience 2, close death, more defense, okay. Thunder Drive and Mega Drive, more damage cap there, it's good to have. Attack raise 3, so she's got both of these. I do like that. Physical weak point boost, obviously she would have this. Makes sense. Maglion Shield is very nice actually. This is going to give her some good survivability. She's got some, if you look at it, what a high protection and Maglion Shield and a lot of defense and making enemies do less damage, and she's taking less damage. Could be good, but also you've got to remember, if she's not getting magically attacked, then she's not going to get this damage taken minus 30%. So if someone's using like a Vayne and just spamming skill 1s against her, then she's probably going to die for sure, because they need to use magic for this to activate for that damage taken minus 30%. But I think it's good. And also, I'm thinking about it as well. Let's say you're fighting a tank team, for instance, and she's on your attack team, right? And they use like a tank unit or a support unit like Sarah or Theria for using Blizzard, then that unit, let's say for instance it's Shift Gorm that's using Blizzard on the enemy defense, right? That is what's going to activate her Witch Time buff, which means then Shift Gorm is going to get plus 20% damage taken debuff, which is pretty useful now I think about it. I can see that, that's great, because you can kind of focus on the back units that are using magic attacks. So I think that's a thing to think about that could be good. Favored sword, and yeah, she does have quite a few sword specific boosts, so you're going to need to equip a sword because you don't want to miss out on those boosts. Yeah, one sword, critical rate, damage cap, and even more damage cap. You can put double-hander boost 1 or whatever we've got now from one of the SSR arcs, I believe. Sword high boost, mega boost. She's going to have some good damage, but if you look, she doesn't have any slayers. So that's a tiny bit of a problem, but if she does enough damage and she's hitting against enemies that are weak to thunder, then it's not a big deal anyway. Kind of similar to Stahn. I believe he doesn't have any slayers either, but he does a lot of damage already because he's mostly focused on hitting the absolute weakness, in his case fire, and he's got a lot of damage skills. So also there is a collab skill that I'm thinking of which increases your damage depending on what element your single weapon is. That would definitely be useful here if you're using a thunder sword, but there isn't really that many thunder swords. Definitely a paid weapon I haven't looked at yet, but I would assume that is for sure, otherwise it won't make sense. But I haven't looked at if there's other thunder swords, but I do remember there's one, but it's not that great either. So we don't have many good thunder sword options, but in general there are a lot of good sword weapons, just not thunder swords specifically. Cloves high boosts, so not gonna be a hybrid really, because she doesn't equip an armor which would give more defense and take less damage from bosses and stuff like that. But Cloves boost does increase your physical damage, so it would have been nice to have Cloves mega boost, but high boost is still nice, I guess. Is something. Armor HP plus 2 is more HP. Why not? She does have some nice HP. Pretty good HP. Indomitable Spirit is nice to have. More survivability. She does have quite a few survivability skills, so I'm happy with that. Giant Shield is nice. I think she's definitely going to be able to take quite a few hits from bosses. Probably not going to be able to survive as much as like units I've said already, like Roland and stuff, but still pretty good though. Witch Time, as we've already went through that in part 1, but when physically attacked. Wait, hang on. So, when magically attacked, chance to give unit Witch Time buff. And then when physically attacked, chance to give unit Witch Time buff. Okay, well, that's good. I like that. Won't flinch from physical. Oh wait, so hang on, she can not flinch from physical and magical attacks then, right? That sounds great. Even though it's only a 5-second buff, as long as you're getting hit from physical or magical attacks, she's gonna get this buff. That's pretty good. Not being able to flinch from physical or magical attacks, even though it's 5 seconds, that definitely makes this unit a lot better. I mean, Bayonetta was only physical attacks, she couldn't do anything about magical attacks, but Jeanne could do both, which is interesting. I do like that. Witch Time buff active when taking lethal damage from a physical / magical attack. There you go. Survive with 1 HP until that attack ends 2 times. Wow. We've seen this before with Morgana, right? He had that, but it's only once, I believe. Well, because that would mean if someone is attacking you and they're using like a very strong skill, like a Vayne S3 on Jeanne, she's not going to die from it, and she's going to survive 1 HP until that attack ends, and she can do that twice. That sounds great to me. It sounds really good. If it is as good as I think, then being able to survive 2 lethal attacks is really good. I do like what I'm seeing. This is great. Boost physical attack damage / damage cap based on a number of debuffs on targets. That's interesting. For each damage, 10% and damage cap 1000, so she does do a lot of debuffs, and it's not as many debuffs as Thouser. I do like Thouser as a unit. I don't use him much because his damage kind of, his DPS is kind of bad, but as a debuffer unit he's great. Jeanne isn't going to be as great of a debuffer unit probably, but definitely better DPS for sure, and it's going to be great. When unit has a debuff, damage dealt plus 20%, that's great. When unit has a stats ailment, damage taken minus 20%. Here's the thing, is you can put on something cheap to debuff yourself at the start of the battle and just get 20% more damage. And there is one SE skill that does that, and it's quite funny, because if you think about using one SE for 20% damage, and that's great. I mean, why not do that? I guess I could show that in a bit, maybe once I go over builds and stuff. That won't be now, but this is great. Love it. And then the final skill, damage taken from knights, god, spirit and stone enemies minus 10%, so she doesn't have a slayer, but she has this, which is less damage taken. So I'm quite happy with all this stuff here. I think there's some great skills here, and I can see some very good things. Like, yeah, I like this stuff. This looks great. I can definitely see this unit being very good, at least just from the skills, and that rarely happens. Like, some units I'll be like looking at the skills and trying to think of if they're going to be good. Well, I always do that with units, but some units I'm just not sure if they're going to be good because it requires testing. But just from looking at the skills alone, you can already tell they're going to be good just from looking at the skills. And I'm probably going to be impressed anyway, even more impressed when I try them out. So that's one thing to think about. It kind of proves how good the unit is, but yeah, I like this. There's some great skills. Traits are good too. She has quite a few damage mitigation skills and stuff like that, like taking less damage, making enemies deal less damage. It is good. Definitely useful. If you wanted to, you could use her as a support if you really want. Like, for example, you could just use her for battle start, give all enemies that debuff, which means they will deal 30% less damage. Once she's in your team, that's going to be active at the start of the battle instantly, no matter where you are, and that's already useful. And other ones here, like, yeah, damage taken plus 20% debuff to enemy that activate winch time buff. That's already a supportive skill, and there's probably other things too. So I like it. Yeah, and being able to debuff is very good too. I like it. I'm looking forward to trying her out, and yeah, you can, when you see higher defense than strength, then you know for sure that the unit is going to be kind of a hybrid, or at least somewhat of a tank. She's not a tank, but she can survive a lot of hits just from looking at that number and the skills. That's great. Let's go over the arc next, which also looked quite interesting. I'm not super excited about it, but I can see some useful things here. Haven't really looked at the trait or anything. I think skill damage to airborne enemies 20%. Well, that's going to do nothing to bosses because they can't go in the air anyway. So that's not really that much. When unit is airborne, damage taken minus 20%. That is more useful for sure. During battle, unit and high strength allies max HP 15%. Okay, that's interesting because you can put this on, like, as a support arc now, because you can put this on any unit you want, then your high strength allies are going to get more health. even though it's only 15%. That's kind of like HP up max, same as that, which is not bad. What you could have this on and increase like Murren's HP by 15% more. Why would you want to? I don't know, just for numbers I guess, but you could do that now. Sword on machine equipped attack specials have a chance to deal critical damage. Never really cared about that. It's an okay trait, it's not terrible, it's just, yeah, it's not the best either, but it's okay. Skills. When I look at arcs and deciding how useful the arc is, I always look at these skills because that's what I care about the most. There are 2 unique skills here, so that's the main thing you'll get this arc for, probably. Witch Heart is 3 SC for 10% HP, which I don't know how that compares to a normal HP up. It's probably the same or very similar, but the fact that this can stack on top is what makes it good, because now you can have even more HP if you want. This could be useful if you want as much HP as possible, or for like a tank defense in arena, or for any of your tanks in arena. That's what I'm mostly seeing as this arc. These skills could be mostly used for tanks in arena, and that's kind of, I'm always worried when I see stuff like that, because I don't want tanks to be lasting longer, I just want them to die faster. That's the thing. So this one, Polly's Butterfly, is an interesting one. Battle start, give a damage taken minus 20% buff for 20 seconds. I was originally thinking this is going to be great for arena, because damage taken minus 20% is a lot. But it's only 20 seconds, so if you put it on a tank, after 20 seconds the buff's gonna go away. I'm gonna assume it's, if it is a unique icon, that would be amazing, and it would be very good. And I could definitely see it being useful. Even if you don't put it on your tanks, you could put it on like Vayne and make him more tanky at the start of the battle for 20 seconds. That's going to allow him to survive a bit longer, to use more skills. Definitely useful for 4 SC, it's very good. It's just for 20 seconds, it's not a lot, but it's decent amount. If you were to put it on your DPS unit, it would be useful, but they have to have some survivability on top already, because otherwise, if you're just using a very fragile unit and you put this on, it's not going to be that much difference. But if you put it on something like Vayne or a hybrid tank slash DPS unit, then yes, it's going to be good. Maybe even for Jeanne it'll be good, possibly. The rest of these skills I don't really care too much about. They're just normal skills we've seen before, but these 2 unique skills are very nice to have, mostly for survivability. The Archive reward is interesting. It's not great, but I could see it being useful because the MP, and that's it. So you get 70 MP and then you get 5% more MP. Put this on a support unit like Sarah, and she could have insane MP because this will give 5% more and 70 more. So that's the main use I could see of this accessory, is for support units that want more MP, or just any unit that wants more MP. And that's really it, but it's not terrible. I might use it on Sarah or a support unit if I need more MP, but that's really it, I think. So it's not crazy, but I think it's a good arc to have. I don't know if I would be willing to pity it. I would say if we get lucky and get the unit first and do the rest of the summons and don't get the arc, I probably won't get it depending on how many summons we do, but if we do get unlucky, then I'll probably pity it. We'll see, but let's hope it doesn't come to that. It's definitely good to have. I wouldn't pity it, only if you're close to it already after getting a unit. It's up to you, but it doesn't have anything game breaking or something you need or anything amazing. It's just useful to take less damage, and that's really it. So I think that's it for part 1. Let's have a look at Trading Space next, because I haven't looked at the paid equipment yet. I'm interested to know what they have. Definitely some damage cap, but what else? I don't know. Let's have a look. Obviously it's going to be a thunder sword and some clothes. So, thunder attribute sword makes sense. Chance for skill attacks to give physical damage minus 20%. Okay, well, here's the thing is, we don't know the chance of what that is, and she's going to be a single wield unit, and most of the time, well, all the time, dual wield units have a higher chance to inflict things because they have double the amount of hits than a single wield unit. So that's the thing to think about, that this sword needs to have some good, that needs to have a good chance, and it needs to be like per hit or something. A good example I can think of is maybe like 10% per hit or something, or maybe I would say that would be a good number to have for it to be, but if it's like 1% or 2%, that's just not, it's not very good at all. That would be terrible. It can be useful though, and if it can stack with the other debuffs that she has, it's going to be good. When only one weapon is equipped, thunder attack damage 20%, damage cap 3000. Really nice. Damage 20%, damage cap 3000. I would definitely get the sword alone just for that, and it's a thunder sword. We don't really have many good thunder swords at all, so this is going to be a best thunder sword for sure. For that reason, I'm going to get this sword because I know she's going to be a great unit, and I'm definitely going to use her for a while. We don't have many thunder DPS units in the game too, so I really like this sword. But how good is the clothes? Cloth? We'll see. Defense, mind, strength, okay. Continuous, they're making words shorter because they can't fit them in. Continuous regen effect. Okay, most of the time regen most people don't care about, it's just whatever you get some HP, it's could be useful, but it's just not really that much. Chance to nullify damage taken from physical / magical attacks. Very good, nullify anti-knight type effects. Ooh. That's pretty crazy. So this cloth is only for taking less damage. Kinda reminds me of Stahn's paid one, which his was nullify criticals. It would have been nice to have it on Jeanne too, but I'm asking for too much. Nullifies anti-knight type effects. Did Stahn even have that? I don't think so. That alone is very good, but that's mostly for arena, so if you get this cloth, you're probably going to use it for arena. That's the thing I'm thinking about. But as well, the chance to nullify damage taken from physical / magical attacks is good too. That can be good everywhere, and continuous regen effect, but... And the 10 plus 10 to earth, good too. But you don't need it. I think you would probably want to have this if you want to use it in arena. So, depending on how the summons go, let's say we were to get enough to get one of these, I would get the sword first, right? Because I know I'd use it all the time. And then, if I have to use more paid crystals just to get this alone, I don't think I would get it. What I would do is I would test out this unit first for arena. If she turns out to be incredibly good in arena, I would probably get this and use her in a team, but if she's not that crazy good in arena, not really worth using, then I don't think it's worth getting this. I think that's my decision, what I think of this cloth. The sword is definitely worth getting no matter what using her for, but this is mostly going to be for arena. If you don't use her in arena, then you don't really need it. You could use other things, like if you want her to be a DPS, I'll show you what I would use if I were to go to armors. This one I would probably use because you get more movement speed, and the movement speed is useful because she needs to, if she wants to use her skills and she doesn't have a skill 2, or you want to use a skill 3, then movement speed is useful. So I would probably use something like this instead. But the cloth is very good, not gonna lie. I would want to have it, it's just I wouldn't spend just to get that thing. I would rather get the sword and then skip this cloth unless we get unlucky, or if she's good in arena, like insanely good, but I don't see that happening, so for that reason, probably not worth getting. I think that's everything. We'll do summons in a second. I'm gonna quickly check the event just to see everything. This part 2 update. What I've been doing, I've completed all these missions, so that's all finished. And if I go to the event, I can collect a bunch of stuff. I've basically got everything already. There's 2 more tickets here. Perfect. We'll collect that. And there's a prism there too. That's good. And everything else, try to get these God Relic Prism shards, because I like to get as many as possible. I have 9 God Relics Prisms now. It's amazing. I'm still saving them. I pretty much got most of the points that I needed, mostly for the tickets. I'll just have a look at the event quickly, but not too much to show really, because I've just been farming it. It doesn't take very long. You just farm the same stages all the time. Might as well get everything from here. But wanting to... basically it's similar to part 1, where the stages you want to farm is either this one or this one. This one will give you all the materials you need, like these tickets. And these as well. If you need those, then farm that stage. But if you want to complete these missions for... well, I've already done them all, but if you need to beat as many of the witch hunt quests as possible, then do this one instead. That's what I've been doing. Gives good points too. That's pretty much it. Nothing really else for the event, because I've already just farmed all of it, so... I guess we should go to summons now, which I always worry about, but try not to. We have... right now we have 17 tickets to use. I'll use tickets first, because why not? Make sure to use your friend points on this, because it's useful. I'll use tickets first, and we'll see how it goes. I'm hoping we get the unit and the arc, but I'm more excited about the unit. Let's do these 7 first. Let's hope that it goes similar to what happened in part 1. Well, we could get more lucky and get her sooner than that, because ideally we should. Because I've got less free crystals available now, so that's a gold. It would be surprising to get something from the tickets, but I never expect it. It didn't happen in part 1, so we'll see. Probably not even red, right? There is one. Well, how many? Just 1? 2. Not going to be anything new, obviously. 2 arcs. Well, we got reds, but they're not new. I was hoping, but... Stupid. This is a skip. Yep, there's nothing. There's tickets gone straight away. There's nothing from tickets. I haven't gotten anything from tickets in a while. I was lucky with tickets, actually. So I think I used all my ticket luck before, and now I don't have any left. I would like the unit first, and then the arc, but I mean the arc, how would I use the arc? Yeah, hopefully we get lucky. Having to pity anything is just unfortunate, and it always feels terrible, but when you actually get to try out the unit, or arc, or whatever you wanted to get from it, then it's more fun. You start messing around with them. There's probably no red from it, but I'm just going to watch it anyways, because I like animations, they're fun. Only, it's not always, it's not fun when that happens. Would have been great if we got something from those 2 pulls, but nah. With the arc itself, it's definitely good to have. I just wouldn't pity it unless you're already close to it. I would like to have it, because I can see, like, yeah, that skill for 4SC, giving 20% less damage taken, that's a blue, that's no red in here, no reds in here. That 20% less damage taken on, like, Spirit Maiden Thoria would be good. because she doesn't really survive that many hits nowadays. I would definitely like to have it for sure. Come on, I would like to see something new at this point, because I've used all my tickets and I've done all the cheap things. I do have enough paid crystals to use, but I don't want to use them all because I don't want to buy any more. That's a gold, which is better than the blue, obviously, but doesn't always mean anything at all. The game likes to troll, so I won't say anything. One animation is 2, there's a 3, that has to be good enough. It is good enough for a red. It's only 1. I knew it was 1. It's not new yet. Well, I've got 3 reds, so it's not terrible. It's just, they're not new, and I'm still worried. 4 reds, that's way too many. Now we come to the point where paid crystals, now we just, it's expensive now. So my plan is to do a few of these till we get enough credentials for the weapon, which I'll probably do 2 of these temples and then do a few free crystals just in case we get something from there, because I would like to get the unit soon, right now, in this temple. It's not gonna happen. We did have a temple once recently that was like quite funny. It had a lot of reds in. That was in the Zayix banner. That was pretty funny. Don't troll me, gang. If you're not gonna give me a red, I'm really gonna question everything about this. When you at least give an animation, it should be enough for a red, and it is. No extra animation. We haven't got an extra animation in a while, have we? It's only 1. Well, that's unfortunate. It's not new. It is the arc. Surprised about that. I was thinking, is it going to turn green or is it going to stay red? Because if it stays red, there's a high chance to be the unit. Or an SSR arc. Well, that's good, because I like having that. Now we got both arcs in this collab, which is great. I would definitely use both of these skills potentially, at least this one I would use. I want to use this on some of my arena units. I'm going to do that at some point. Don't know when. Maybe soon. I'll have to build Jeanne first. Getting anything from tickets is pretty lucky. Well, if you think about it, Jeanne is a better unit than Bayonetta. I mean, obviously, if you like Bayonetta as a unit, as a character, then that's up to you. But I know some people have been saying Bayonetta's a bit underwhelming because she's just a normal DPS unit. The rear showed up again. It's a blue. I kind of expected that to happen. I really did. If there's no animations, I don't think there's going to be anything in this temple. I don't think 1's going to be enough. Has to be 2 or more. That's what I would say. I'm not going to skip, but I will. You don't give a red. We do. Unit. It is. What is it? Jeanne and we're done? Nah. Game wouldn't do that. We get unit dupes. There are 3. Is that the unit? It is the unit. Wow. I didn't expect that at all. I thought that was just gonna be an SSR arc that I didn't have yet. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Now we can test her out. I can save the rest of my crystals now. That's perfect. 1 more red. Don't care about that red. That's perfect. Some pretty good pulls, yes, for sure. That is technically better than part 1. We didn't even need to spend that many. We've still got enough for pitying another unit. That's good. I was kind of thinking, well, if I had to pity the unit, I could buy more prisms. I guess we don't need to now. We can get the sword. I get the sword, it's good. Now I'm probably not going to get this. Probably won't. Because I don't think it's worth getting. Only worth getting if she's good arena unit, so I'm going to have to test her out. Prisms would have been nice to have, but I've already got 2. Yeah, I'm going to save the rest. We did 56 pulls. I did a few pulls by myself because I get bored. Well, what I was thinking to myself before the stream was, if I could get the unit in a few single pulls, then I could build a unit first. But nah, that can't happen. That's crazy. Very good, yes. Let's trade for these tickets, because why not? Yeah, literally lightning. I haven't really seen her in battle properly. I've only seen a video that they showcased on their channel, and it was like, goes from 6 hits, or whatever, 18. It goes from 8 hits to 16, and it just skips numbers. It's kind of funny. I'm just going to skip these, doesn't matter what we get. Unless we get a Jeanne dupe, but that's not likely at all. Or an SSR arc that we still miss. Still missing. Skip. Well, that's the rest of the summons. Don't need to do any more summons, how surprising. Next week is the time trial. The week after that will be the next unit. I'm gonna assume it's probably DOH unit. So that's good for me. We've got a few crystals left. I did farm some, but not too many. I always make sure to do everything daily because that's kind of a basic thing. Let's try her out now. Well, build her first. Let's then keep you in. Put her in the event team. Gonna be very nice. Okay, well, there we go. Let's try her out in a bit. Let's look at the arc first. I did get this one to level 10. I was strongly considering making a video on my Bayonetta build, but I've been doing other games instead because I've been having fun with that. One of a kind, yes it is. We'll level this up. Why not? Oh yeah, and the good thing about this is I can get... I don't think we even spent any free crystals, did we? That's quite good. Because we get 1,000 free crystals back for getting her to level 100. Yeah, that's great. It changes to red souls, so we should be able to get level 10 now. Then I can put on Pulley's Butterfly to a few units. It's going to be good. A lot of people have been changing their arena defense teams and their attack teams. Arena meta is just changing out quite a bit. I want more mage units. We need more mage units. Especially, I would like a thunder mage. Because a mage that is focused on one element usually has quite a lot of damage, and we are still using Shift Eliza in arena. Because she's quite strong. And she is. We need... Even Amelia, and she's an incredibly old unit now, she's like a few years old. We still use her because she's strong. It's funny. Level 10. Might as well get the Arkeefa award. Because we can. It's going to save some time. It's so easy. It's great when you can just instantly max anything. After you've played a certain game for so long, you can just get something new and instantly build it to as much as you want. It's great. No time wasting to gather materials. I'll tell you something, I haven't needed to really farm any specific materials for a while. I haven't done multiplayer in ages because I just haven't needed to. Because the events give us a bunch of materials that I need. Are we going to use another rainbow potion? Yes or no? Yes. Because I got 5. Why not? Yeah, well, 300 is too many. I do that too in most games, and I don't know why, but I have a problem of when I save up a bunch of currency and I use it for something that I want, I just lose interest because I don't have my currency anymore. I like saving my currency and then using some and still having a lot left, and once I reach 0, I'm like, how am I going to get them back? It was so much effort to get them that I just, you know, it's happened with some games. Probably a lot. That's why I try and stock up on crystals in this game, because I don't want to be at 0. Because if I was at 0 crystals, then I would just be, I don't know, just more sad, I guess. I guess that's probably, I don't know, maybe I just like summoning too much. I don't want that to be the case, because I'm like, I know what I want and what I don't want stuff. I always want more. Problem. Might as well do this and then unlock skills. I still wish there was an unlock all button. Not gonna happen, is it? So, what's her award? Thunder damage cap. No. Terrible. I always hope for damage cap every time there's a new unit with a ward. I always hope for it. Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's just I don't deal with gacha games very well at all, depending on the game. Like, if I just think of a different game, any other gacha game that requires you to be... Well, Last Cloudia is a different case because I enjoy the gameplay no matter what and I don't focus on being lucky, I just get it anyway. But if it's a different game where I don't want to spend and you have to rely on luck, I hate it so much that I just end up quitting. I mean, it hasn't happened with Puzzle and Dragons, I'm surprised I still play it. But only reason I still play it is probably because they give a bunch of free stuff. When there's a normal gacha game with like arena and guilds and stuff, I can't keep up, I don't want to. I spend all my currency on like one unit, and then I realize I got no currency left and I'm sad. Even though I got the unit, I just would have rather have the unit and my currency, but it's just not possible. Well, it really depends on the game. Because I play a few games that don't have pity, like Puzzle and Dragons is the main one, I think. So I did a video on that recently, we're doing a few pulls, but that was just because I wanted a few things and I did get them. I played that too much recently, but I just kind of get too absorbed in it and it becomes a problem. But in that game, there's no pity for most things, but you can trade most things. The main problem in that game though is if you want every single thing, you just can't unless you're spending your entire bank account, which obviously is stupid because they have literal paid monsters locked behind the shop. You could pull them too, but you pay for a monster, you can't pity it or trade for it with free currency. You either have to get lucky or buy it, and I don't like that about the game, but I enjoy that game when I get lucky, and I have been recently, kind of. but I always just use my currency and end up wanting more, and then I don't get it, and then I just stop playing, and then it just always happens. But if I go to another case, like the other game I play is Battle Cats, sometimes I don't really play it too much, but I don't rely on luck with that game, so it's not really a gacha game to me anymore. Since it's so old, there's a seed thing you can do on a website where you can put your last 10 pulls in on the website, and then it will tell you exactly what you're gonna get when you do more summons. So I don't even have to be lucky, I can just look at that website, look at that specific gacha, and see what I am going to get if I were to summon. And it's 100% accurate, but it is cheating. So some people don't do it because it means you're not relying on luck and you don't have that same excitement of not knowing what to get, but I don't care about that because that's what makes me not happy about the game and not enjoy it too much anyway. But I have improved my account a lot in that game just because I've been able to guarantee myself the top units, which is fun. You don't even need them. Yeah, it's crazy, it's not something you're supposed to do, but you can't get banned for it. It's a single player game, who cares? Kind of like Genshin Impact, where it's a single player game mostly. It does have multiplayer too, but if you cheat on a single player game, nobody cares. But if you cheat on like Call of Duty, people start caring a lot and you get banned. That's the only difference. Let's have a look at equipment now. Obviously I'm going to put a paid sword on, but Thunder Swords, there's like 0 good ones. This is basically the best one that people are going to have for her, for a Thunder Sword. And in most cases, you can have a better sword. I would say put this on if you want a Thunder Attribute Sword, if you don't have a paid. If you want good MP from Goddess Kiss, if you're doing that setup. But if you're not, then you can just equip any good sword you have, which there's a lot. I pretty much show the sword every single time I build a unit because the sword is that good. But I must show it anyway, just in case. Ideally, you would either want to have a Thunder Sword or a non-attribute sword. But it's up to you though. Use any good sword. I'm going to use a paid. Use any good sword. You could have machine or anything like... Yes, there are good machine weapons. Like this one. But the problem with that is she's got damage cap locked behind requiring a sword. So I wouldn't recommend that at all. If that wasn't the case, this would have been very good on her. That would have been amazing. Even Trishna would have been good too, but you can't really do that. I'm going to stick the sword on, and now with clothes. She does have clothes high boost, so you'd want to have clothes. I showed this one already. I think I am going to put that one on. I think I must, because movement speed. Is there anything else though? I don't think so. Ideally you'd want to look for something with damage, but there isn't really any. I mean this one, but 5% physical damage. It doesn't really matter, does it? No, not at all. This one gives a revive if you really want to. There's nothing really else good, is there? Not really. I don't think I would really use anything else. Yeah, there's nothing great. I mean, skill damage 8%, sure, why not? You probably won't need it. I would just use this. I might get her paid clothes, but I'm not that excited about it yet. It depends. I don't think it's needed because it doesn't really add damage, so you don't need it for damage. For her accessory, she's going to be a thunder damage equipping a sword, so minute for relief is good instantly. And other options, not that many other options really for thunder. This one's good, but it's from a collab limited arc, which not everyone's gonna have. But it's still good because it's movement speed. And there isn't really anything else. I mean, if you want, you could put this on. If you got it. I don't think there's really anything else that I'm excited about with accessories, so I would just put on this. And I think that's what I would have, because you've got more movement speed there, and here, and here. So you've got a lot more movement speed. Maybe I just like movement speed. Maybe that's what this is telling me. Probably. But it does add damage too. 10% here, 10% to bosses. Yeah, I think this is fine. I don't think I need anything else. I mean, more SCT if you want. Nothing really crazy. Obviously, she might need Earth resistance. But there isn't really anything for that, is there? Well, maybe this one. It's only a 3% difference. You get +5, but that's not even enough. I mean, you could if you want. That's probably it. Yeah, we need better clothes for Godforge. We don't really have many. It's unfortunate because you're kind of relying on the paid equipments, and we don't like doing that. We need more accessible weapons and armor to cover more units. Like, this unit is a good example because we don't really have many good swords or clothes. So we kind of need more. I'm going to stick with this. This should be good. And we'll try her out. Which I'm interested in trying them out. Stats. Pretty nice stats. Let's switch over to Steam now, because I sometimes forget that. I won't forget this time. There you go. Takes like 1 minute. Not even 1 minute. Less than a minute. It's already open, see? It's going to be quite fun to try her out. I definitely want to see how fast those skills are. Why are you not aligned properly? You should be. Still got a good amount of crystals. Love it. What arc are we going to use for this example? Well, Council of 10 makes everything a lot easier, so that's what I use. She doesn't have any slayers, and I don't know their resistances. I should know it by now. Let's try it out. It's going to be fun. They might die very fast, or not, we'll see. If they don't have less thunder attribute resistance, then I don't think she'll do very much. Because this is base skills and everything, she doesn't even have slayers, so I'm not expecting a lot of damage here, but that's fine. So base skill stocks would be 4, 3, 2, which is fine. 5, 3, 2 would have been better, but 4 skill stocks of skill 1 is kind of low. Usually it's 5. I mean, 4's still fine. You got -50. Okay, let's see. This could be incredibly fast. They already have the debuff on them. You see, cut damage dealt. Here's a unique buff icon, so that's good. Skill 2. Okay, well, I do want to test how fast they can be spammed. Skill 1. See, look how fast this is. Kind of annoying. Very annoying, but it's pretty fast. Now, the skill that I'm excited about is a skill 3. I don't know how this is gonna do. This is funny. Okay, I don't know what happened. Okay, this is a bit fast. I ran out of skill stocks already. Look, I need more SCT. I should put on Honey Elixir, or just put on someone else in the team with Honey Elixir. His skills are too fast. I think her skill 3 is just going to be crazy. But I need to do more testing. I don't know how much testing we're going to do, it depends. So, do the same thing. I guess I'll focus on the boss this time. I don't know. Yeah, she definitely gets more damage with the Witch Time buff. What's the range of her skills is the question I want to know. How close do you have to be to use skill 1? I think it's like a... You have to be in front type of thing. Yeah. Okay, that pulls one enemy, so that could be... Reminds me of Shift Milim, and that's a bad thing. But don't worry about it. Skill 3. I like it. It's too fast. It's broken. Not really, but... Can I skill 2? Does it take multiple enemies? I don't think so. Probably only one enemy, which is unfortunate. Yeah, well, that's fine. So, that one skill 3 right there is 18 hits in less than a second. It's a problem, because that DPS is going to be so high. Skill 1 spam. Also pretty good. I didn't put on Honey Elixir for you, did I? No. Glass Record's good enough. Okay, they're all grouped together, now I can use skill 2, and what happens? They all do move, okay, that's fine. Okay, I do like these skill 1 and skill 3. The skill 2 is kind of a bit slow. But the skill 3 is... I think it's probably the fastest skill 3 we've got in the game. Definitely. It has to be. I'm gonna do that a few more times. Maybe I'll try out... Yeah, I'm gonna try out her special skill this time. Because the defense debuff is gonna be good. Then I can just use it now. It's against all enemies. I don't know how many hits it is. I don't really look at it. Should be good, right? It's not going to do a lot of damage because she needs to be built for that. 50 hits. That's not bad. I think let me just try out her skills a bit more. Skill 2 and then a skill 1. There is a bit of a delay when she's using a skill 2 and then something else, so you don't really want to do that. But if you use a skill 3 and like skill 1, it's okay, I think. See how fast all this is. Okay, that's cool. I mean, yeah, the animation of her skill 2 is pretty good. It's just her skill 1 and skill 3 are definitely the best skills to use on her for sure. Skill 2 will only really be used for getting close, and that's really it. But it's still nice to have. What else should we do? I mean, I do want to test this unit quite a bit, but I guess I should do one of these. Yeah, this will be fun. How fast are they gonna die? Good question. I want to know that too. This may be very fast or not. I expect it to be very fast. This will be good. She should hit damage cap now. So, yeah, I think it's gonna melt all the enemies really fast. I mean, it's up to you. I can't recommend it because it's up to you in the end. Like, what I did was I spent some God Relic Prisms on Saint Meli because she was one of my favourite units. But if you care about a long-term unit to use your prisms on, then most of the time it's probably going to be Saint Etheria or Sarah or some support unit. That's what I think. Or it depends on what content you like too, because if you like arena content, then you'd want to spend them on an arena unit probably. Let's try this out. Skill 3 time. Okay, that was... what? They just died. That's... okay. I didn't even see anyone. The enemies just disappeared in less than a second. 3-second clear time. Okay. That's great. I like that. That's also what I'm thinking is I'm gonna do that again. Jeanne might be the unit for the time trial. Maybe. That's what I'm thinking. Because it seems like the enemies, well at least the bosses they've been giving us, the unique bosses for this collab, do have minus dark and thunder resistance. So she might be for time trial. I don't know if her DPS compares to Vayne. It might. As a question I won't know yet. Maybe eventually. Trying to think, is Vayne's skill 3 faster than Jeanne's skill 3? No, probably not. Jeanne's probably faster, it looks like. At least to me. For sure. I could try a special out this time. Sure. For fun, we'll try it. It's still not going to do much because I need to awaken. Should do something right. Not too much. I mean, they are going to get debuff, which... Skill 3. Go. Kill. They just die too fast. I swear it's skipping numbers. It can't count. I think the skill 3 can't count. It goes from like 1 to 3 to 7. That's what it feels like. Well, here's the thing. Similar to Vayne, their damage caps are not insanely high, but their skills are very fast. So, damage cap on this unit is going to be pretty important. Very important. Even though she is a single wield DPS. This is base skills, by the way, so it can be a lot higher. At 110 SC, she would be crazy good. You could add all the damage cap skills, purple orb, honey elixir, all that stuff. She would be amazing. Probably one of the fastest DPS, or if the fastest DPS. I don't know for sure, but sounds good to me. It's just, think about it though. We recently got Stahn and Luke, which were 2 incredibly fast DPS units, and now we've got another one. So they're releasing more fast DPS units, which is means that they are yet less useful if you think about it, because we get more of them. We need more support units or mages. That's what I really want. Might as well get her to 5th enhance now. I'm looking at it, the stream probably won't be that long unless we were to build her properly, but that would take ages. So I don't know if I want to do that. Or I could just showcase Bayonetta off, but the stream isn't really for that. I was considering making a video on her, but it depends on the time and stuff. 5th enhance. I have so many materials now. 100 of those. She just laughs all the time. There's going to be more damage cap with 5th enhance. That's gonna be good. Thunder attack raise 3 for sure is gonna be in here. I'm just thinking. Her skill 3 could definitely melt units in arena. Like if you were using her skill 2 to get close to an enemy, like a shift gorm, and then just start spamming your skill 3, that would be funny. And it would definitely kill them very fast. But we don't have that many. Since Spell Render got nerfed, the SCT in arena is more important. She would need quite a bit of SCT. So I would probably put on Purple Orb plus Skill Charge 3 and whatever else. Thunder Attack Raise 3, there it is. Yeah, well, I know the mages we have are already good, I would just want more. I don't want a Rainbow Mage because we've got Magia and Lagrabos already. I would want like a one element focused mage, like we need a new thunder focused mage, we don't have one, or like a dark light. I mean, we've got light. Dark we don't really have. Because the thing is, those element focused mages are why they're good in arena. Because they have so much damage. 10,000 HP already. Looks good. Probably try her out again now. There are so many mages in arena right now, like Amelia. It's been in arena for a while. I mean, I can have a look. I just want more mages. Probably because I have fun with those. Yeah. Just have a look at this quick. I've changed my teams to mostly focused on mages now. Most people have been doing that. Mage here, another one, another one. I would like a new mage. Probably because they're good in arena, but not just that, I just enjoy them. You know, if you go to anyone, most people are now using a mage in their attack or defense. If that's the case, then maybe Jeanne will be good there. Possibly. Depends. This is great. I'm gonna get that later. I mean, there's no reason not to get it now. More crystals. The temple. I'm saving those tickets. We got a few saved for the next permanent unit. I would like more. Because that's not enough. If you remember when we did DD, we didn't get it from the tickets, it was terrible. Yeah, well, that would be funny. Just do 1,000,000 damage to everyone, including your own units. Everyone dies. The end. That would be funny. I would like... Obviously I would like a Nier rerun. Any other collabs I don't really know. Thinking of another collab already is kind of not something we should be doing. I felt like this collab, Tales of Series collab, was just very good for the units themselves, and that wasn't that long ago. It just feels like we're having more collabs maybe recently. I don't know. I still want... Imagine a 2B shift. They probably wouldn't. She doesn't really have a shift form in the games. I would know that. If there's anything about Nier, I would know it for sure. Let's do more testing, I guess. Go away. I know what people would want. Well, here's the thing. Is, to be in the game doesn't have a costume change really, unless you are getting DLC or something. She doesn't have a shift form where she gets stronger. It's not that type of game. But I've seen other games where they've done collabs with 2B and they add a Kaine costume for 2B, and I don't agree with that. It's wrong. Why not just release Kaine? That's if they were to do a Nier rerun, they would release Kaine and Nier and maybe Emil as 3 characters. That's what I want, is Kaine, Emil, and Nier as a Nier replicant collab. That's what I really want. Because Emil would be a mage slash support, 100%, because he uses a staff in the series, in the game itself. He would not be a physical DPS. That's what I would want. Emil would be very valuable for sure. Just because he's a mage. In the story, he's quite a strong mage too. He kind of sacrifices himself for everyone else. I could talk about it for ages because I like the series so much. It's probably one of my favourite games. Let's do more testing. Let me try it again with 5th Enhance. Should be better. Definitely. Still base skills, by the way. 2P isn't in the Nier franchise game itself. It's like it stands for player 2, 2-player. That's basically what it means. So, what's the damage looking like? Skill 3. Okay, what? That range is pretty impressive. Skill 1 is pretty fast. I do like it. If her damage was reaching damage cap, it would be melting these enemies right now. It's just with base skills though. Skill 2. Still not super excited about skill 2. And now my skill stops are gone already. Well, okay. Yeah, 2P would be good, it's just 2P is basically just a recolor of 2B. I would love to have a 2B shift, but I just don't think it's possible. I don't think it's going to happen at all. Because in the game series there isn't really a shift version, and 2P isn't really considered a shift. It's just a color change, like Ray and like Rain. Kind of similar in a way. Let me do this again. I want Kaine, but I don't know if they will be allowed to release Kaine in this game because she's too graphic. You know, if you know Kaine, you would know what I mean. She wears like hardly any clothes. That range is pretty good. It hit the boss up there when I was here. It's okay. I kind of want a better test of this. Imperial Guard Commander 3 would be a good test for that. And Kaine swears a lot, like literally all the time. Every time she opens her mouth, it's just swearing. It's funny though. That's why I don't know if they would have... It's an 18 plus game. But Nier Automata was 18 plus 2 as well, so... Maybe, possibly. It's just, I don't know all the rules behind stuff like that with how graphics the unit can be, you know, because she kind of doesn't have pants, and that's a problem. She doesn't even wear clothes. I'm not showing it. Go away, shut up. It's not happening in the stream. Let's go back to testing. I'm gonna do this now. This would be even better. I don't think she can kill him in one skill 3. That's definitely not possible. Unless I were to build it properly. Even then, I don't think so. I mean... yeah. They really focused on a lot of... It's weird. Like, Bayonetta's all about the legs. Which is fine. It's just a bit questionable. Definitely not going to see any hentai collabs anytime soon, I bet. That would be funny though. It's a different type of game. Entirely. Some games like to really live on the edge, literally. There's a lot of games like that. It's confusing. Because some games are like rated to 12 or even 16 and they have almost naked characters, and it's why? Children are seeing this. I mean, I don't care about it. How fast is it? That's 80 something. I can't see the numbers. The numbers disappear so fast I can't even see it. 80 something. Well, that's one of the fastest kills I've ever seen in my time. Ever. It's impressive. That's very good. I want to do it again. I could do this all day. I may do it with a Sarah this time, maybe, possibly. Which would be a Sorcerer Light. I at least have one right. Yeah. That works. Even better, actually. It's gonna be even better. This will be great. Like, another collab they won't do is any Senran Kagura. I probably mentioned it ages ago. It's funny, it's too much. Literally, the game is focused on taking off girls' clothes. Why are we talking about this? Actually, why am I talking about it? Shouldn't. Why did I do that? I don't know, I'm not focusing. I meant to do this one. It's fine. Just... there you go. I do think Bayonetta's definitely a good collab that people are going to be happy with. They should be happy with. Now let's do Theopolis and see what happens. What's the damage cap like this time? 96 is my guess. Actually, 90... I don't know. 87. Yeah, that wasn't really too much damage cap difference, really. I don't know if I even did Sarah. Whatever. That's fine. It's very good. You can see how fast her skill 3 is. Now, I'm going to do one more test. That was in 2 seconds. I'm going to go to Imperial Guard Commander 3 just to test her range of the skill 3, just to see how much it covers. Because that'll be interesting. I don't think it's going to be crazy. It's definitely not incredibly wide, but it's still pretty good. I focus on the middle enemy and use a skill 3. It's probably, my guess is going to hit those two around it, but not those two at the back for sure. That's definitely going to happen. I already know that. Yep. It's still decent though. I'm trying to look at the numbers. Look how fast it is. Don't flinch me. 16 instantly. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Well, any other testing I need to do? Not really. It's kind of difficult to test with 0 SE at the moment. I don't want to spend like 1 or 2 hours learning skills, because that's boring for everyone. Nobody wants to see that, so there's no point doing that. So I'm going to do that in my own time. I don't want to end it yet, because I feel like we haven't been here long enough. Technically, we still got half an hour. But what would I do for that long? I don't know. I mean, she is very good. If we don't need to be here longer, I guess I can finish it just to make it easier. I'll try out one more time. I always say that. One more time. It's like a kid that wants to play something. I can go to the other stage, I haven't done that yet. What their resistance is, I don't know. It doesn't matter. But it kind of matters. I think her skill 3 is just too good. Yeah, 50 thunder resistance is not gonna work at all. At least I can use this for spamming her skill 3 just to see it. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty good. Let me put in Theopolis to make it easier. I'm just thinking, the time trial, if you use like I'm already coming up with time trial teams. I would probably try to use Jeanne, spamming skill 3 as much as possible, with someone like a Sarah or Theria spamming glass record. That would be great. But the problem is, she uses her skill 3 so fast that there isn't even enough time to get that skill 3 back. It's kind of funny. Let's try this. It should be good. I just think it's funny how fast you can spam this. Because it is. That's too good, so that's this. They're dead. The damage cap, I know the damage cap's low, but she's not hitting her cap, and they're not weak to thunder, and she's at base skills. So there's a lot of room for improvement. We did see with the full team for testing, she was hitting around 86,000-ish with all the other damage cap increases, so the problem is units like Stahn have such high damage cap, but her damage cap isn't that high. But damage cap isn't the most important thing ever. I'm gonna do that again. One more time. I'll probably say that again. They do have 3 mil HP. I think with a full build, she's going to be amazing. Yeah, that was great. That was 2 mil in like however many seconds. Not many. Like 2 seconds, maybe. This isn't even hitting damage cap either. Skill 2 is kind of a bit underwhelming. You see. Skill 1 is okay. It's good. Not as good as skill 3, but yeah. Skill 3 is definitely the main one. Well, I'm glad we have another Thunder DPS, and she is definitely going to be a top tier DPS, for sure. I don't know how she's going to compare to other ones, but she's going to be up there. Will she be close to Vayne? I mean, the skill 3 itself, maybe, but I'm not comparing units, I'm just thinking of their skills in general. And the animations. They're the most important things when you look at units. I don't think there's really anything else I need to do, I think. Right? I mean, I do need to build the unit and stuff, but I don't really want to do that here. So I guess I'll talk about my conclusion of what I think for part 2. I guess I can talk about Bayonetta a bit now, because I have tried her out properly. I could show you my build of what I got of her right now, because I haven't done that yet. I haven't fully built her yet. I did build her for Arena, and then kind of left it as that. For Arena she's okay, but nothing crazy, because her damage isn't as good as units like Vayne and other units that we got. Her survivability isn't very good. It's kind of bad. I'm still using this build. I'm still not going to get the other weapon because I don't think she's worth it. She's a good unit, Yeah, her S2 for Jeanne is just not that great. It's fun though, because her turning into a wolf or whatever's pretty fun. I still don't have a proper build for Bayonetta yet, but it's getting there. It's still pretty good though. It's just that if I have a look, we're giving Witch Time buff, because she has the Witch Time, which is when physically attacked. It's just sometimes, in this case, it feels like another case where the Jeanne is just an improved version of the Part 1 unit. Because her trait, when magically attacked, chance to give unit Witch Time buff, is already an improvement from Bayonetta's trait. Won't flinch from magic attacks. Give physical / magic attack damage taken a plus 20% debuff. I think she's definitely going to be very good. It does seem like she's better than Bayonetta, for sure. I'm going to say that now, because I think that's true. I'm going to use this prism. Here we go. I'm saving these still. I don't think I would use God Relic prisms on a DPS unit is the thing, unless you like them so much. It's up to you. Or unless they were to be a incredibly top tier unit that could be used everywhere for a long time. That's the only case I would probably use these. Well, I don't think there's anything else to talk about, really. I mean, Jeanne, I can't really say much about her. I just think she's great. Amazing DPS once she's fully built. She might require quite a bit of damage, I don't know. She can be a support as well, because she can debuff the enemies and take less damage and stuff like that. Is great. Also, she has more immunity to flinch from magic and physical attacks, so that's very good. Only when the Witch Time buff activates, but it activates pretty often, so most of the time she's going to get some kind of non-flinching super armor, as long as she's getting hit, so that's going to be good. She can not flinch from magic and physical attacks, that's going to be very good. I'm going to test her in Arena, but not yet. I like testing units in Arena, because I've been messing around with my Arena teams recently. It's quite fun. I enjoy messing around with teams. It's very fun, especially when I have all the stuff available to me. It's going to take me like a few days to build her, depending on the time and how much I want to invest in her. Actually, what I can do is I can just build the unit in one day. I can just go to this special skill study dungeon, which I should probably do now before it resets in like 36 or 26 minutes ish. 25 minutes from now, I think. I should do that. And just learn all of the important skills. Because I know what skills I'm going to use for Arena already, so I just need to learn those specific ones, and it doesn't take that long. It takes like a few hours or so. The arc, I haven't really talked much about the arc recently. I've mostly been focusing on the unit. I don't think the arc is worth pitying for unless you are already, unless you've already done a lot of summons for the unit. If you are like, let's say, a few temples off getting the arc, you might as well get it because it's good to have. And if you care a lot about Arena and you can see yourself using these two skills, then be sure to get it if you want, try to get it if you want. But I definitely think the unit is going to be the main reason why people are putting on part 2, for sure. It's not like the arc's better, because there's been some collabs where the arc has been incredibly valuable, more than the unit, but I don't think that's the case for this collab. Part 1 isn't really that exciting to me. Like, when Part 1 came out, I wasn't super excited for it either. I'm still not that excited, but don't really need to talk much about Part 1 because I did that in the stream for Part 1, but I would recommend pulling Part 2. We don't have many Thunder DPS units, and if you want Jeanne, go for it if you want, but if you care about saving your crystals and stuff like that, then always try and think about it more. Like, I usually worry about that too much. I'm like, I kind of want to save, but I want this unit, so I'm going to spend some and save some and blah blah. I do that a lot. With this game, not really, because I don't really care about that. I just get them anyway. but I think she has some very high potential. Higher potential than Bayonetta for sure, because she can be a support, have some support skills, and do a lot of DPS damage. So I think I'm going to leave it at that. It was a shorter stream because we got the unit quite early, so the summons were a lot shorter, so that saved a lot of time, which was good for me. It just meant less content for the stream, but that's fine. One thing I want to mention though is I'm still adding the timestamps in these streams. I don't know if they're adding them. I don't think you can really see the chapters in the video streams anymore. I don't know why. There's probably just a random update or something YouTube's had, I don't know. I'm still adding the timestamps in these streams like normal, so you can still check those out. They're in the description if you want. I just don't think there's chapters. I don't know what to do about that because I've had a look and I just can't really do anything because I'm doing it the right way that I'm supposed to, so at least when I am checking these streams, I can't see any chapters on them after adding the timestamps, which is kind of unfortunate because it would have been nice to have them. But at least they're still in the description, they're still useful to have, so I think I'm going to leave it there. I don't think I need to showcase anything else. There is the time trial, I believe, next week on Thursday, so that's going to be interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with the time trial, probably just casually do it and try and get a good time, but not try hard on it, because when I try hard on things I just lose interest and it's just not as fun for me when I do that. Some people like doing that, but I don't really like doing that. I mean, sometimes I just haven't really done that recently. I'll try for top 10, but I don't know if I will get it. But if I have a look, I have a lot of UR Stardust, so I don't really need it. Obviously, I would want to have another one. It's not necessary for my account though, so I don't really need top 10 in this time trial. I'll try for it anyway. We'll see how it goes, and I guess that means the next stream is going to be in 2 weeks from now. The other videos that I have been doing have been kind of bonus videos that I've been messing around with. Obviously they're not related to this game or anything, but I spent so much time on those 2 videos. I enjoyed those videos. I probably won't do more because I feel like I spend too long on those videos. It's just not worth doing, but we'll see. I have a lot of work to get done as well, so I don't know what content's going to be on the channel in the next 2 weeks or so, but we'll see. I'm trying not to focus on YouTube too much as a job, because it isn't. It's mostly just a thing I do whenever I feel like it, so I think I'll leave it at that, because I've been talking for a long time. Have some stuff to do, like building this unit, for instance. Definitely got to do that as soon as I can, so that I can try out an arena, because I don't know if anyone's done that yet. Don't have high expectations, but who knows. So yeah, enjoy this part 2 collab. I think part 2 is definitely more interesting than part 1, mostly for the unit itself. So that's it, I think. Enjoy this collab, and I'll be back in like 2 weeks for the next stream for that unit. My guess for that unit is going to be a DOH unit, potentially from the story, because we've gotten a lot of story unit teasers for future units. There are a lot of Advocate of God teaser units, and even Prefect of God units. Like Prefect of God Mia could be a unit coming very soon with a new UR arc. I can see that happening very soon. It could happen. So that is my guess. And Valentine's Day, I don't know when that is. Maybe I haven't. When is that? My calendar doesn't have any. I don't know. I'm not going to worry about that. Valentine's Day units, potentially, maybe. Some people, I've heard a few people, they like their Groog. I personally like the story units the most. Like I said, Prefect of God Mia, it with a UR arc is going to happen because they teased it so much in the story. It's kind of spoilers at this point, but It will happen. It might be the next unit, that's my guess. If it's not, then it's going to be some random unit that I don't know. That's it. Maybe a permanent unit, I would hope. Maybe not yet, it's probably too soon for that. I'll see you in the next one in about 2 weeks. Enjoy this collab and I'll see you. Bye. I talk too much in these outros, I know.